So I'm looking at this judge, and he leans over to the clerk, and she's gonna make me a copy, and so he moves on with this other stuff that he's working on in his courtroom, and and this clerk lady, I have to we follow her, me and my attorney follow her down the hallway, go to the Yakima County court clerk's like office area, like their main office, and she makes a copy for my attorney, and they make a copy for them, and then he like, I don't know, he like buys me a copy, and he's like, man, you should have a copy of this. Congratulations, man. And I'm just like walking out of this like building just like ecstatic. Now the other thing is that I knew that you couldn't really go right away. Inside the Washington law, it says they have like 3 or 4 business days or something. I think it's 3 days. They have to submit to the powers that be that you have your gun rights back. I think this system is really aimed, and I'm not trying to be negative here, at taking away. I don't think it's so good at giving back. And what I mean by that is the mechanism is there to make sure that when you're not allowed, you don't get access. But once you are allowed again, after you've not been allowed before, the gears run slow. And it could be like 30 days before it filters out. I was the one that updated, Washington State Patrol with my copy. I'd sent it to them, given them a copy, and they updated it. And then they forwarded it off to the FBI. I thought it was all good then. I asked them, I was like, is it updated? Okay. So I went on down to a pawn shop, and I didn't have much money then. I'd been able to scrape together like a couple $100. And I walked into this pawn shop, who will remain nameless, and I was like, hey, I would like to purchase the cheapest shotgun you have if it's under $200. And he's like, I can meet that price, So he goes over and he grabs this like Maverick. He said it was a Maverick. I never touched it. I want you to know, I never touched that gun. Just brought it over to the counter, cleared it, made sure everything was okay, and then handed me a paper, and I filled it out, and I handed it back to him, and he dialed on the phone, and they said no. Instantaneously said no. He hung up the phone. I don't even know that he really got all the syllables out of my name. More power to him, though. That was a freaking no. I'm like, well, that's like really weird, because I thought they were updated, and I'm thinking maybe there's something wrong. Well, he gives me an NTN number and a pamphlet, and I leave the store. Then I got onto like the website, and like I submitted it. By the way, the phone call is absolutely useless. Trying to call the FBI to get information, they don't give you information. I think it's too much for them to do that. They're too busy. But that phone is not your friend. Submitting it online and seeing your little bar move across the screen over months is. So they gave me a letter back, stating why I wasn't allowed, and it said that this place, in Olympia, had me on record as not as a no-go on the, or as a denied person. I was a denied person on their list. So then I wrote them, sent them an email. They eventually got back to me, and this guy worked with me, and they cleared me out of their system. And then they sent me a letter. And so then I went and appealed that NTN because it was more than 88 days. I mean, we're talking like months now. Months. This has been happening all 2019 long. So eventually sent it back. Again, and this time it denied it. It was in the denial process again. They were going to deny it for the same reason, but they had the FBI was generating me a new denial paper, not based off of information that they had come from that office, just that, they're not going to give a gun to anybody in a state where there's no federally recognized program for firearms rights restoration, when there's no federally compliant program in that state. And there are states that do, because they took a bunch of the money to boost their systems up, but Washington State hasn't, so they don't have to. And I don't know why. But whatever, here we go. While I was waiting for that, I called them up and I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure I got this letter. I should be able to buy a gun now. And the lady was just like, at the FBI, she was like, well, you could try. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm pretty sure I don't want to try, because, we have this lady in our state, in Olympia, said that they could get you for multiple attempted purchase. So attempting to try to buy a gun is bad if you can't own a gun, which is also a crime. But attempting to buy a gun again and again and again is considered multiple purchase, which is a different kind of bad. I think it's more bad. And the lady said it with a lot of stigma when she said it out loud. So I don't know what it is. I just know that it's not good. It's bad-er. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that. Well, then I remembered something the pawn guy told me about. He's like, well, go apply for a concealed. Washington State is a shall issue state. And so I was looking over the paperwork, and I thought, well, that's good, because then they'd probably give me a reason why. So it's like a $45 question, basically, because I'm pretty sure at this point I wasn't getting any guns at all, because they've taken like almost all of the rest of 2018 and over half of 2019 telling me no. I went and applied for my concealed weapons permit, and I gave them that copy of that letter, which is a brand new fancy letter from the Firearms Compliance Unit of Behavioral Health in Tacoma, Washington. They gave me a brand new letter, and they cleared me out of their system. I turned that into the YPD. That confused them a little bit, because they hadn't seen a letter exactly like that. They'd probably seen some letters before, whatever. And it took about 15 days. They're pretty Johnny on the spot down there. The guy told me no on the phone. He was just like, well, I'm sorry, bro, it's not going to work out. He used a weird analogy. He was just like, how it's legal for marijuana in Washington State, but at the federal level, it's not legal. Well, that's like your situation. You are legal in Washington State to own a firearm, but in the federal level, you are not. I don't think I did his voice exactly like that, but basically, it was a very calm, assertive break-off. Anyhow, they sent me a letter, and it says federal prohibitor. That was probably the best piece of paper I was able to get. Then I learned that if I want to pursue this further, I need basically $10,000 down, and there's a lawyer out of Spokane, which I will leave nameless, that said he would take on my case, but I would need 10 grand to sue the federal government and to prove why I should not have a firearm. But I don't have 10 grand around. So, but if I ever win the lottery, or if I'm able to save up $10,000, that's what I plan on doing. How much would you pay for your right? Shall not be infringed. Anyways, whatever. I was pretty angry about it, mad. I didn't really express it. You can't really go tell these people you're frustrated with it. Keep your poker face on, but it was definitely very frustrating. I'm probably to date about $4,000 into this gun rights thing, and 20 years with big bad doggy slap on my nose, and they're just like, nope. And I don't want to hurt anybody. Definitely want to shoot some deer or something and make jerky. Want to hunt. And I'm not completely unable to do that. So then I talked to my attorney about it, and they looked it up, and they just realized that, yeah, I did Washington State level. So then I got a hold of another attorney to practice inside Washington State, and he actually talked to me on the phone for free, which is really weird. Big shout out to that Seattle attorney. Some of those Seattle attorneys can be very curt, maybe because they don't have time. I don't know, but no judgment there. I'm not an attorney. I don't know what it's like to be an attorney.